everyone. This is my market update. Today is February 3rd, 2025. So it was a crazy day on the market. So weekend news drove the market down, but there was an amazing rebound because the market was oversold. So let's go into it one by one. Let's look at each and every index. Let's start with S&P. So I could not make a video because of some family stuff, as well as I was working on my indicator over the weekend. Um, so yeah, let's look at. So my indicator, for the intraday, it works very well on the 10-minute chart, and then for the longer term, it works very well on the daily chart. Um, that is because of some of the nuances with getting the data from trading view. So let's look at intraday. So the market actually over the weekend, it just started here. I got some buying, buy the dip kind of a indication. I didn't do any trading over the weekend, just validating my indicator. That's all. And then, as the market started around 10:20, there was this huge 300-point rally. This was kind of crazy rally on all the indexes. This was on the news, and then it just stayed here, and then eventually there was no way it was gonna go down without filling the gap. So it just filled the gap in S&P, but in Nasdaq it could not. So the market stayed here, and then after the close, it kind of rallied. So S&P, the way I look at it, the trend has turned on the 4-hour and daily. There is a overbought indication on 1 hour, and yeah, I don't think this volatility is done. I don't think market is done, oscillating. So if you look at the bigger picture, we'll know, how the look at these gaps. So it was. I think it'll still try to close this tomorrow morning, or who knows, Wednesday, and then it'll just continue lower. And also, guys, it gives me good supports and resistances. So if you look at here, there is not much. So these are my Bollinger Bands, the red, orange areas, but these red and green lines are the supports and resistances. So these are like long-term supports. So see how it bounced off of this area. This was not tested or barely tested, and then it tested this again. There are a couple of supports here that it didn't test, and this one is also untested. So I won't be surprised if market actually comes to test this before it goes higher. These areas are not tested, or at least it has to come down here to test these. Um, because it tried to break down this, it could not. There is another support line here. It bounced off of that. um, so yeah, these long-term supports, they do kind of offer a good support. So let's go to QQQ. So QQQ again, I don't think it still filled the gap. I think like after hours it did, but it was trying all day, it could not. I think now it did, and then it'll go a little bit higher, and probably stay there for a couple of days, and then we'll see what happens. But these are all oversold indications, all these points, and there is this support which is untested. It will at least come here, and then there is this was tested actually. So QQQ, this one is untested, and then probably, it'll test that and maybe bounce off of here, fill this gap. There is a gap here. So that's what I'm thinking. I mean, this is definitely no way. I mean, it's just gonna uh, drop and then just bounce back all the way. Um, Same thing with DIA. I mean, there was a nice bounce. Um, I think this particular support is not tested. This is also barely tested. All these are, at least they were hit, but this one was not even hit. So it needs to come here and then on this one looks like really weak. In the short term, I mean, all the trend is lower, momentum is also lower. There are no alerts. So if there are any bearish alerts, you will see like a orange or a red here. But there is one alert on QQQ here on a weekly basis. But even intraday, this also looks pretty weak. So let's look at IWM. Again, these are all like overbought. These are all like momentum is like barely, it's not that bad, but this one looks really weak because weekly trend is also down. Weekly trend matters a lot. There is this support here. Looks like it's barely tested as well. This is 212 on IWM. So this is all about indexes, guys. Let's look at oil. It fell into this. It tried to bounce today, but didn't go anywhere. It came back down. With the oil, the thing is, the trend is lower. So even on the monthly, I saw it was lower, but looks like, not on this, but on the CL, it's lower. This is USO. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, like I said, I'm getting some lot of overbought. So the momentum is pretty. So when the momentum gets too bearish, then also you can expect a bounce. So this is too bearish to me. I mean, this looks too bearish. And then trend is up. So I don't think we are done with Bitcoin rally. So I think there is another rally coming, and it could be. I'm thinking March could be it for Bitcoin. I'm thinking Bitcoin will probably top in March, and then slowly it'll keep coming down on hope. So usually market goes down on hope and then rallies on worry. So today it rallied, and there were worries about the the tariff and all that. But now everything looks clear. Skies seem like they have cleared, but the market tomorrow and day after, or this end by the end of the week, it will be lower. And then probably there will be another news on the weekend. So this is going to be volatile, guys. But yeah, I mean, if it hits some kind of a bottom in February, I won't be surprised if March brings a bounce. Let's look at the dollar. In my previous videos I said dollar. I don't think it actually reached the peak. Looks like there is a support here. I'm thinking it will go hit this before it turns down. Today it kind of rallied on the news, but then it gave in. But I'm thinking it'll go into this zone. So market will go around like 110.6, between this 110 to 110.6. Let's look at VIX. VIX looks like it actually it's trending positive. Weekly momentum is still I mean, there is a overbought on monthly. I'm hoping it will be cleared. It's not very um, it's not like showing it in red. If it was red, then you could expect something. It'll be more. There will be more pressure from the upside, but doesn't look like it. Looks like it will continue to rally. So again, that's those are all the major indexes. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla looks like everything is pretty weak today. It just broke down, gapped down this trend area. Last time it bounced off of here, and looks like these are looking to me like trending down and pullback. So um, if you look at it, I mean, this is how it works, guys, right? So basically, this is a rally, pullback, rally, pullback, rally, pullback, and then rally, and then there is some pullback, and then there is a huge rally, right? And then this on the opposite direction also works like that. And then this one was a rally to the downside, there is a pullback, rally to the downside, a pullback, rally to the downside. Maybe there will be a pullback to test this, and then it'll go like this. So that is what I see for Tesla. Microsoft, I mean, I think Microsoft should go higher. This looks pretty bearish. Trend in all the time frames looks pretty bearish, guys. I'm thinking, in the beginning of the year, I was kind of looking at the charts. I was bullish on Microsoft, most bullish on Microsoft, I would say. But then looks like Microsoft is looking the most bearish now. So I mean, I would not say it's still turned, because if you see, there is no downward rally as such, even on a higher time frame. You could say this is like a rally, and then there is a pullback, and then there is this downtrend. It's going down. Let's see if it makes a lower low, and then lower high. But so far, it looks too early to call Microsoft. Same thing, Amazon. Let's look at Amazon. I mean, Amazon looks like it still wants to go higher. Nothing much here. Momentum is still positive. Yeah, same thing with Google. It looks very much like there is no support or resistance here. So if you don't see much of a support or a resistance, usually market just floats higher. If it falls somewhere here into this zone, there is a good chance that it'll be hard to bounce that hard. Meta, let's look at Meta. I mean, this looks like a pretty bullish stuff going on here. This is like a bull. This is like a engulfing candle. Momentum trend is positive. Momentum is all positive. There is some alert on the daily basis, but yeah, I mean, it could clear this. There is looks like 4 hour and weekly as well. There is some concern. So yeah, I mean, this looks a little bit weaker than Google and Amazon. Let's look at Netflix. Netflix, everything is looking good. Only thing is this: there is this weekly and daily looking like it's. I see these arrows, so maybe it will come and fill this gap. This was on earnings; it just jumped up, and then I'm thinking it will just come and fill this gap. And then we can see how it goes. But it the looks like um the direction is still very much upside. This is like a rally, pullback, rally, and then we don't see any follow through here. Maybe there will be a pullback, and then so I thought it will take much longer to get here. It got here on this earnings. AMD, I think earnings are tomorrow. Yeah, this is a like a classic case of a downward rally. So here it started here, and then there is a pullback, and then maybe actually this is more of a like a weekly more. Yeah, if you see here, it started somewhere else. So this is a downward trend rally, and then downward trend rally, and then there is this downward trend, and then maybe on earnings it will go and test this, and then it'll probably go down here. Yeah, it's not easy to turn, guys. I mean, this is pretty bearish. If you see here, I mean, the trend is bearish, momentum is slightly bearish, and then there looks like there is some, it's indicating some kind of a bounce on a monthly basis, but um, it could go here and then maybe bounce in March or something. Apple, in my past videos, I said I was pretty bearish. Look pretty bearish to me. Look at all this. It's still too early to say that it's bearish momentum. Momentum looks bearish, but we'll have to it has to clear this zone. It has to fall below this line here. Before you can confirm that it's in a downward trend. Looks pretty, except for monthly, the trend is up. Monthly is pretty major, guys. Usually trends in the direction of the monthly trend. So this is slightly, I would say, momentum is just turning bearish. And then there looks like there are some alerts. Maybe it'll basically chop sideways. Nvidia, this is everyone's favorite. Looks like it's indicating some kind of oversold, but this is also looking like it's topping, guys. I mean, it looks like I said in my past videos that this is a sell the rally kind of a thing. But I can't confirm that the trend has started going downwards, because until this whole thing becomes red, you can't tell, and then it has to clear this zone. Looks like there is good support coming here. So it's gonna go higher. I think it's gonna fill this gap here. Looks like there is a gap here. It left a gap here, or not here actually. It's a pretty big gap right here. So it will chop here in this zone. There is a lot of momentum and support here. All these lines, once it clears this, then it will go down. Today Palantir jumped. I was short actually. I don't know why I didn't get out of my short before the earnings, but it was indicating. I was looking at this alerts, all these alerts here, and I went in. They are still present, but who knows what will happen, right? I mean, it jumped like 20% on the earnings. Let's look at some of the futures, guys. I mean, this actually, I tried trading futures on the intraday basis. 10-minute indicator works very well. So this one looks like just the daily one is bearish now. Oh, wait, no, I'm not on the right time frame. Yeah, so if you are like, intraday, 10 minutes works, and then on the long term daily works. So looks like momentum is still downwards from yesterday and this morning. I'm thinking this is basically swinging a lot but moving a little. So on the daily basis, if you were to call it this, I would call it the downward rally has started, and then there is this pullback. But this today, it kind of looks like it just barely made a lower high, just barely. Let's look at it closer, guys. I mean, this kind of stuff is interesting. So the high here was 22,111, and then the high here was 22,093. So it just barely made. So it's confirming that on a daily basis, that it is in this trend. So it's in this trend. So it will, looks like, eventually come here. That's what I see for. I mean, it's slowly breaking down. These they don't matter longer run. They just matter on the intraday basis. Uh, this looks pretty bearish. At least in this week and week after. These both of these look like they have turned. That is because of this thing. I think that's what it reads here and then shows the strength. Um, yeah, this one actually made a new high. I was surprised. I thought this was gonna go down. This one looks the weakest, guys. That is because of all this, and then weekly, daily. These are major trends. They are all down. Um, so that is that, and then the CL. This is what I was talking about. See here, the monthly is actually red. This is why I went short on this, and I'm still short. My time decay started because of the 30-day period. My options expire end of February, so I'm gonna hold it for another 1 or 2 weeks until I get uh, at least something out of it, because otherwise, or if there is like a, here it doesn't look like there is much. 10 minute, it's showing a oversold, but I'm thinking it will just go sideways and then bounce off of this and then go down. There is a lot of resistance here. uh, and if you look at 4 hourly basis, you'll see more. Yeah, see all this. This is all resistance, guys. It'll hit this. This looks pretty good. Looks like a pretty good resistance area. This one looks pretty good at like pretty good resistance area. But this is why I was saying I see deflation, not inflation, because the oil. Uh, it's actually looking like it's in a downward trend, and oil drives inflation. So this one, and then there is this pullback, and then this is 4 hour. Actually, if you look at weekly, it will be more clearer. So if you see this one here, it started here. It's still in the this zone, this whole zone. It has to cross this downwards for it to be like really break down. So once it crosses this is gonna go down. I'm thinking somewhere here. This looks like a very good, around $40 looks pretty good support area, and then there is this $54, but it has to clear 67, which looks like a major support area. So that is my analysis. I think I already went too long for today's video. I was trying to compensate for not making a video on Thursday and over the weekend. Let's look at a couple of more things and then we'll wrap this up. Let's look at palladium. Palladium, I'm really bullish on this, guys. I think this is a very good time, especially if it crosses this zone. It's gonna begin its uptrend. Uh, I think pretty soon, like this kind of a thing. Like if you see here, this kind of a thing. It will start this once it crosses this particular hurdle. There is a lot of support resistance here. It'll fight, and then there is this long-term trend line. Once it breaks out, I think it's gonna go higher. Everything looks pretty green here. Platinum, there are some hurdles here, but this also looks good. Usually it doesn't rally that much. I said I'm like bearish. I think this will break down here because of maybe this, and not much. I don't see much bullishness here. There are a lot of good bullish alerts, but it's still coming down. That shows the weakness. Let's look at silver. Silver, there is a huge support here, guys. It has bounced in the past. There is huge support in this area. And then once if this breaks, then there is nothing in this zone, this whole zone, nothing between 25 and $30. Hopefully it doesn't break down here. I mean, if it keeps rallying, yeah, and there is not much above this as well. So once here there is some resistance here, 32.9. If it breaks out, not much resistance up here. It will just float up. Let's look at gold. Gold again looks pretty bullish. It's making new highs. I don't see much upside because of this orange here. It'll probably hit like $3,000, and then it will probably start its journey down. This will go down as the deflation happens. I see today intraday I saw some alert. It was constantly alerting me that this is bearish, and looks like there is some bearish indicators here. So, and then there is not much support in this area. If it starts falling down, it will fall down to this area, which is 2600 to 2700. And if it clears that, there is some support in 2300 area. And then if it falls down from there, there is nothing until like 2000. Yeah, I was trying to move this. Yeah, this is pretty good area. So this, I think it'll hit this area, and so somewhere around April or so, it will probably start its downward journey from 3000, and then I think it will clear this area, and then this area, and then here it will find some support. I'm thinking around $2,000, and then it will start bouncing again. That's what I'm thinking. But this is my analysis, guys. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin momentum looks like really it's heavily downward. But again, like if it's too bearish, that means that it's gonna turn bullish. I don't see any major problems because this daily thing is not a big deal for Bitcoin. It just moves like in thousands of dollars. So I don't see this as a huge issue here. Major trends are still upwards. So I'm thinking this will go. This is not done yet. That's my analysis, guys. I'll see you guys again tomorrow in my next video. Thank you.